artists, today we are going to be taking our painted papers from the other day and we are going to be transforming them into something new. Now I've got two different pieces of plain white paper here. This one is more of the size of a bookmark and this one is kind of like a flat card. Think of it maybe as an oversized artist trading card. You're going to decide which one you want to do, and if you do have time and available paper, you could certainly do one of each. Next, I'm going to have a good look at my painted paper and decide if I might want to go through and add any more color to mine. For example, if you've got a lot of white space in the background of yours and you want to get a colored pencil or a crayon or a marker and just color in some of your empty spaces, you can. But of course, if you do have white areas and you want to keep those white areas, that is fine. But you can see even this light blue area, I'm going over this with a colored pencil, and that looks pretty cool. Since my paint is now totally dry, there's a lot that I can do on top of it. So you can see I've just had fun going through adding a few extra colors and patterns. Now for me, I like to turn my paper over and I like to do my drawing on the back. So we have now talked about a new heart. So I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to take this paper that we did the other day and to create a new heart out of it, quite literally. Now if you want to do something other than a heart for this project, you absolutely may. But I want to make sure that I'm drawing about the same size or the right size for the paper that I'm working on. So I can kind of have that close by, or if I even wanted to, say, carefully trace the size of my paper, carefully onto the background, see, now I can see exactly what size paper I'm working with. And so if, for example, I'm making a heart and I wanted to fill up most of the space, I could draw a heart and fill up most of that space. Now this doesn't need to be perfect, just do your best. As always, it's easier to turn the paper when you are cutting rather than turning the scissors. So you can see that this hand is actually turning that paper and my scissors are kind of staying relatively straight. Now this is one of my favorite parts. I get to turn it over, and how cool is that? Now, if you want to have a color in the background of your little card or bookmark, I would encourage you to go ahead and think about maybe lightly coloring it in before you start to glue down. You don't have to, that's just kind of the order I like to do things in. It's very faint, but you can see that I've got a little bit of that textured yellow colored pencil in the back. Now with my glue stick, I want to very carefully just make sure I keep it on the heart or whatever I've cut out itself. Get a nice layer of glue stick on there and turn it over and just press it down for a couple seconds. Now this is very open after this. You could draw around the heart, you could draw on top of your heart or whatever it is you've cut out. You can also turn the paper over and write a message on the back. Maybe you want to give this to someone. Maybe you could write a message to that person, but at least you want to write your name on the back just to make sure you don't lose it. Now, just for the sake of showing you several different options, I want to just quickly draw a couple different ideas if hearts aren't really your thing, or if you want to do something else other than just a heart. Now, I've drawn that cross fairly small. I could technically just draw it a little bit bigger. Now, since this side is going to be glued down, if I make a mistake in my pencil drawing, on the back side of my painted paper, that is okay. So you can see I'm just kind of resizing this cross because I do want it to be a little bit bigger. Cut bigger than you think you might want it to be. That way you can always trim it if you need to, but you can't really make something bigger if you accidentally cut it too small. Okay, that's really awesome. So that is actually a fish, just to show you a couple more examples. Once again, I'm cutting it a little bit bigger than I've drawn it, just to make sure it's plenty big. That's really cool. And what is this? This is a flying dove. So this might be a little bit more challenging to cut out. I'm just gonna take it slow and do my best. Again, for these wavy lines, I'm not so much turning my scissors as I am turning the paper with my hand that's holding the paper. Oh, that's so cool. What if you want to cut out multiple birds or fish or crosses? Before you glue these down, you could actually take this and you could use that to trace around on the back of your painted paper so that you can use this. You're kind of using it like a stencil or a template. So you can imagine how pretty it would be to have a whole bookmark or card full of flying doves or fish. Now you can always do a layering effect too. For example, I have this extra cross cut out. I could put glue stick on the back of that and layer it over on top of my heart or wherever I wanted to put it. Again, this is very open-ended, what you transform your painted paper into. And again, if you have the time, you can certainly make more than one. And I think it's a wonderful idea to maybe give one to someone that you love as well. Thanks so much for watching.